Hello and welcome to the Bechtel International Center's tutorial on completing the I-765 application for employment authorization. This form needs to be completed by students applying for pre-completion OPT, post-completion OPT, or the STEM extension. You can complete your form as you follow along with this tutorial. This tutorial is based on the I-765 tip sheet, which can be found on our website by going to bechtel.stanford.edu, doing a search for OPT, and then clicking on the first result, which should be post-completion OPT. Scroll down towards the bottom of the page until you see the section applying for OPT. The link can be found under Tips for filling out I-765 can be found here. Before starting, please review carefully the I-765 instructions, which can be found on the USCIS I-765 website. You will type or print on this application. If printing, you must use black ink. If you need extra space to complete any portion of this application, use the space provided in Part 6 or attach a separate sheet of paper. Make sure to answer all questions fully and accurately. If a question does not apply to you, you will write N/A, or if typing, type not applicable. For numeric responses, you will write none unless otherwise directed. Now let's begin completing the form. The first section to complete is Part 1, Reason for Applying. You will check the box 1A, Initial Permission to Accept Employment, if you are applying for pre-completion OPT, post-completion OPT, or the STEM extension. If you lost your EAD card and are applying for a replacement EAD card, then you will check the box 1B. For the purposes of this application, we will check the box 1A. The next section to complete is Part 2, Information About You. In items 1A through 1C, you will type your full legal name as it appears on your I-20 and passport. In Section 2A, Other Names Used, you will enter previous names, including nicknames you have used in official records or documents. If none, write N/A in every field or type not applicable. In sections 5A through 7D, you will be entering your U.S. mailing address and/or your U.S. physical address. Your U.S. mailing address should match where you want the card to be sent. Because many students must leave their on-campus housing before the EAD card will be received, students often have the card mailed to a trusted friend, relative, or roommate. In the case of this tutorial, I will be mailing my EAD card to my father. Please note that the mailing address must be valid for at least 4 or 5 months into the future, meaning that there should be someone there to receive the EAD card 4 or 5 months after mailing the OPT application. For item 6, since my current mailing address is not the same as my physical address, I will check the box No. Now I will enter my U.S. physical address. If your mailing address is different from your physical address, use the physical address state to determine where to mail your Form I-765. In the section of Other Information under Part 2, you will leave items 8 and 9 blank. You do not need to write or type none in items 8 or 9. Item 10 asks for your gender, with the only options being male or female. Item 11 asks for your marital status. Check the box that applies to you. The next item 12 asks if you have previously filed the Form I-765. Check yes if you have previously applied for any OPT, J2 EAD, or L2 EAD. Don't forget to include copies of your previous EAD cards. For the purposes of this tutorial, I will check the box No. Items 13A through 13B relate to the Social Security number. 13A asks if you already have a Social Security card. You will answer yes or no as it applies to you. If you answer no, you can use the I-765 application to apply for a Social Security card if you choose to do so, or you can apply for a Social Security card after receiving the EAD card at a Social Security Administration office. For the purpose of this tutorial, I will check yes. Since I checked yes, I must enter my Social Security number in 13B. Had I checked no on 13A, I would skip 13B and move on to 14. Item 14 asks if I want to use the Form I-765 to also apply for a Social Security card. For the purposes of this tutorial, I am checking no since I already have a Social Security number. By checking no, I can now skip to 18A, your country or countries of citizenship or nationality. Had I checked yes in 14, I would also need to check yes to 15 to give consent to USCIS to share my information with the Social Security Administration. I would then have to enter my father's birth name and mother's birth name. Now on to 18A and 18B. In this tutorial, I am currently a citizen of only Croatia. In 18A, I will type Croatia, and in 18B, I will type not applicable. Part 2, Information About You, continues on to the third page of the application with the section Place of Birth. Here I will list the city of birth as Zagreb. There is no state or province of birth, so in 19B I will type not applicable. But if the city you were born in is located within a state or province, you will type the name of that state or province in 19B. In 19C, the country of birth is Croatia. Item 20 is your date of birth. For this field, I will enter December 17, 1989. This brings us to the section of Part 2 titled Information About Your Last Arrival in the United States. Item 21A asks for the Form I-94 Arrival Departure Record Number. You can retrieve your most recent I-94 information by going to i94.cbp.dhs.gov. Item 21B asks for your passport number of your most recently issued passport. Item 21C asks for a travel document number. You will enter none if you have a passport. Item 21D asks for the name of the country that issued you the passport. Item 21E asks for the expiration date of your passport. Enter it as 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, and 4 digits for the year, separated by slashes. Item 22 asks for the date of your last arrival into the U.S. This date should be reflected on your most recent I-94 record. Item 23 asks for the place of your last arrival into the United States. Item 24, immigration status at your last arrival. You should have been only entering the U.S. as an F1 student. For items 24 and 25, you should type or write F1 student. In item 26, you will enter your SEVIS ID number, which you can find on the top right corner of your I-20. With item 27 begins the Part 3 section, Information about your eligibility category. Here's where you will indicate which version of OPT you are applying for. If you are applying for pre-completion OPT, you will enter C in the parentheses, then 3 in the second parentheses, and A in the third parentheses. If you're applying for post-completion OPT, you will enter C3B. If you're applying for the STEM extension, you will enter C3C. For this tutorial, I'm completing this application for post-completion OPT and have entered C3B. If you're applying for either pre- or post-completion OPT, you can then skip to Part 3, but remember to write in N/A or type not applicable or write none in the numeric fields for all the items that you skipped in this section. If you are applying for the STEM extension and you have entered C3C in item 27, you then have to complete items 28A through 28C. In 28A, you will enter your degree level and major, for example, Bachelor's in Computer Science or Master's in Electrical Engineering. If you have been typing into this form, you may have to handwrite this section in order to fit both your degree level and major. In item 28B, you will write your employer's name as listed in the E-Verify system. This should also match the name of the employer on the I-983 form. In item 28C, you'll list the employer's E-Verify company identification number. For STEM extension applicants, after completing items 28A through 28C, you can now skip to Part 3, but remember to write in N/A or type not applicable or write none in the numeric fields for all the items that you skipped in this section. We have now reached Part 3, Applicant Statement, Contact Information, Declaration Certification, and Signature of the I-765. Here you will check 1A in the Applicant Statement section, attesting to the fact that you can read and understand English, and that you have read and understood every question and instruction on this application and your answer to every question. In the section Applicant's Contact Information, you will complete items 3 through 5 with your phone numbers and email address. Item 6 only applies to Salvadoran or Guatemalan nationals eligible for benefits under the ABC Settlement Agreement. If this does not apply to you, you do not need to check the box in item 6. Now read carefully the section titled Applicant's Declaration and Certification, and then you will sign by hand item 7A and date your signature in 7B. When signing in the field for 7A, your signature must be floating in the box and must not touch the lines of the box. If it touches the lines of the box, your application will be rejected. This is because USCIS will be scanning your signature and placing it on the EAD card. In the next two parts, Part 4 and Part 5, you'll handwrite N/A or type not applicable in all items, since all items in these parts are not applicable. In Part 6, Additional Information, if you are applying for pre-completion OPT or post-completion OPT and have previously applied for CPT or OPT, you'll need to complete sections 3A through 3D. In items 1A and 1B of Part 6, your name may already be auto-populated. If not, please type your name as it appears in your passport. Leave item 2 blank. In item 3A, you'll type the page number as 3. In item 3B, you'll type the part number as 2. In item 3C, you'll type item number as 27. In section 3D, you will list all previously used CVIS numbers, including from all previous F programs. Then you will list all your previous CPT or OPT as follows. First, you'll begin with your CVIS ID number, followed by whether the CPT or OPT was part-time or full-time designated, and then what type of work authorization you were authorized for, either OPT or CPT. In this case, it will be CPT. And then the dates you were authorized for employment. Followed by the degree level. In this case, I have a second authorization for full-time CPT. Please be sure to sign and date the bottom of the page. Now you've completed the I-765. Congratulations! For more information, please visit our website, bechtel.stanford.edu.